Hi guys, it's Lauren. I'm driving to pickleball right now, and I'm just having some thoughts that I want to share with you guys. Because I just a few days ago got back from a trip to Arizona that was this amazing healing retreat. Went to an area around Tucson and then up to Sedona, which you may know is well known for its healing powers, healing energy there in Sedona. And while I was there, especially when we were down in Tucson, I was feeling so inspired. There was so much healing going on, and I was expanding and expanding, and it was pretty fast expansion. I was learning all these things. It was sort of a condensed time of healing for me. And so, and then in Sedona, also was, but I was having ups and downs, and I think it's because there was so much expansion that happened at this resort, this healing resort that we went to in Tucson. I think I was starting to, my body, mind, and spirit was feeling a little like, whoa, okay, that was a lot. Now, let's take some time. But I didn't really have time because we were busy. We were doing stuff in Sedona, and we went on this vortex tour, and really amazing stuff, and more healing did happen. Amazing trip and place. And I knew that there was a good chance that there was going to be a shift when I got home. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I didn't have some notion that I was going to have I'm going to come home and I'm going to just be all better. No, I knew that there was a fair chance that I would have some sort of healing crisis or something. Well, no, I haven't had any kind of healing crisis since being back. I've been back about 3 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days. But what's happened is more subtle, but insidious and sneaky. Because what's happened is that it's almost like I was expanding, and then I shrunk down into my shell again. And I got old symptoms, and I had amplified self-doubt. And it's just today I'm starting to come out of the self-doubt, which is why I'm able to even make this video, because the last few days I've had so much self-doubt that I didn't even want to. I just felt like I don't have anything to share, I don't have anything to say, I don't have anything new to say. So much self-deprecation, self-doubt came up, and it's these old patterns. It's these old patterns that I'm working to repattern by healing the wounds that are at the root of it, and then repatterning it at the same time, because both things take some time, and they're sort of these little, I think of them as they're just like these little cycles, and you just have to, you go back and forth. You can think of it as just like you go to one and then you focus on the other, and then focus on one and then focus on the other. And then they sort of weave, they intertwine like a two-piece braid or something. So I came back from Sedona and immediately shut down in my little shell. The old shell, protective shell that I had lived in before developing chronic fatigue and starting to heal the emotional wounds that were causing it. That was the shell, this hardened shell, and I was just sucked right back in, because, and this is my message, this is what I wanted to talk about, because this happens every time, and okay, so this is for you, because when you do this, what what you're going to find is that every time you expand, as in you heal something, you gain a new perspective, so you expand your mind, you expand your awareness, you're growing. Every time you grow in any kind of way, in my experience, and I know this is other people's experience and people have spoken about this, every time you expand, expect a contraction period afterwards. It's a law of nature. I mean, but the goal is that after you expand, and then the goal is to, when you contract again, you contract less, so that you have a net gain of expansion. And you will, but it feels like crap, I have to say, because you're on this high. If you have, like, you healed something, you had some revelation, you have this sort of epiphany, and you have a euphoria from that, and you're so excited, you feel great, you're confident and feeling like you've got great momentum, and then you get worse again. Your symptoms get worse, your fatigue gets worse. If you're like me, you get like muscular weakness and pain and stiffness and heaviness. That's just what happens to me, but whatever, and more digestive system symptoms, more brain fog, all the things. These are just my collection of symptoms, and I don't know what your collection is. But if you notice that after an expansion of some kind, you get worse, your health gets worse, your mindset gets worse, you really start doubting yourself, or whatever it is that you're most prone to do, thinking you're unlovable, whatever it is, the temptation is to be like, it didn't work. I thought I made all this progress and I'm right back where I started, but you're not. It just feels that way, because when you go back to a place that you were or close to it after being in this more expanded place, it feels worse in a lot of ways than before the expanded period. So it feels like you're worse than you actually are. It's like this temporary recovery period. It's kind of like when you work out and you tear some muscles for growth, and you break through some new threshold that you have never broken through before. Then you hurt more. Your muscles hurt so bad, and they have afterwards to repair. That's the best. I don't know. That's the analogy that came to mind right now. I don't know if that's the best one, but it's what I have. It's this recovery period. It's like a spiritual recovery. So you've just experienced spiritual expansion, and now your spirit needs to recover again and make sure, okay, but I'm still safe, right? Like, are we still safe? Are we still good? It's your higher self protecting you to be like, let's make sure we can still go back in that safe place. Can we go back in that safe place? This is where our safety is. This is where we've lived in safety. Can we go back there? Okay. And then once you go back there for a few days, weeks, but just the retraction period, it probably won't be very long. But just be aware of it, because it makes it so much easier to be kind to yourself and to not go panicking and be like, well, that didn't work. Oh, I thought I made all this progress and I didn't. If you're aware of this concept that after every expansion in this process, in this journey of healing, just know that there's very likely going to be a contraction period, and it might look different every time. But if you're aware that that is going to be the case, that to expect that, or if you forget and then it happens, then within a day, a couple days, maybe you'll be able to be like, oh wait, there's always a contraction after an expansion. Maybe that's all that this is. And then it's easier to wait. It's easier to sit through it. It's easier to ride the wave of it. And so just knowing that is so important. And that's my message for today. So I always say this, but I so want you all to have a beautiful day, another beautiful day in this beautiful journey that you are going on with me. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.